Welcome. My name is Sam Price, Crypto Lifer, and every single Friday afternoon, I give you the macro weekly top-down analysis. We break down Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance, total 3, U.S. Tether dominance, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and if there's anything else that I want to put on your radar. But let's get into it. It's been an amazing week. If you longed with me, if you were able to take advantage of this market, I'm going to show you how we did it in the trading group and kind of talk about it. First thing I want to go over is the CME gap that we saw here for Bitcoin that we did fill. There was a CME gap right there. We did fill that CME gap. 96.6%, I guess, is the thing. They all do get filled. The 4-hour also was low on the stochastics. We had a divergence, and we went after a lot of the shorts that were in waiting to the upside. Bitcoin had a nice pump. Let's break it down. If you were with me, and we went over this last week, right? Just what, 5 days ago, we were talking about the fact that Bitcoin could come to this area and possibly retest $38,000, right? Said it's very likely we come down to 38K. Why was that? Well, we were looking at, number one, the 5-day chart with the 21-day moving average, and I could see that the 5-day was likely going to come down and touch the 21-day moving average. There was also a CME gap there. That was also previous resistance that became support. We're now oversold in the 5-day chart, all right? The weekly, these are the key weekly support zones that we talk about. We have a major resistance right here. So I'll just cut that, right? So we have a major resistance point right here, all right? And that point is going to be 46,670. You guys can like zoom in when I do that to cut out, right? And that way no one will notice what happened. So we'll do that again, but zoom in right when I say this, just zoom in a little bit, and then no one will notice the cut. So I'll say we have a little resistance, and then you'll zoom in to this cut, and then zoom back out to me here. Perfect edit. So you can see we have weekly resistance here at about 46,500. We wicked up to it, right, into that 48K region, but you can see that's the next area we need to close a weekly candle above. And then I didn't want to see us basically close a weekly candle below these two candles right here and some of this chop, which is at about 39,000. And so far, we did not do that. We actually got back above the weekly support, if you can believe it. I kept saying this in the weekly update. I said, as long as the weekly candle does not close below this level, I will remain bearish. I remain bullish. But, it didn't look like this weekly candle was going to clean up. We were down here all week, and then, boom, we boomed back to the upside. So as long as this weekly candle closes, to me, that's weekly support at 41,000. It's where this candle opened. It's 41,360. 41,360. As long as weekly candles stay above 41,360, we have no real bearish macro issues. All right, I just want to keep making that clear. At the end of the day, as awkward as it is, because we have this falling wedge to look at, but at the end of the day, this is a flag on the weekly that could continue to the upside that has a measured move to 62,000, 6344, right? So I'm not stressing the bears right now, right? And I'm not a perma bull, and I'm not a perma bear. I just go over the charts the way I see them, but this is more bullish to me. This is also a bullish sign, the fact that you're getting a lot of wick to the upside. People are buying into this pressure. People are getting into Bitcoin. We look at the 3-day chart. 3-day chart also looks pretty bullish with a bullish engulfing candle. I'd like to see it flip this 21-day moving average, but it did break out. We go to the daily, and that's a clean breakout. I mean, you broke out of this channel for sure. Beautiful daily candle. Absolutely ripped to the upside. I went over the fact last night in my weekly screen share that as long as the 22-hour was held, that we were going to get a move to the upside. So if we don't get into the smaller time frames, I do that on my daily show and in my group. But if you just look at the macro right now and you took the length of this pole here, it says that the daily does want to break out. I take the whole length from this wick to this wick. I see that's how the algorithmic move. And that tells us that from this daily move, we can get all the way up to about $52,000. And we would have to obviously break this high. There's some areas we have to break back above. There's key support and resistance. We're going to have to break above 43,200. We're going to have to break above 45,000, right? But those are basically the two resistances, and then the high there at about 47,000. But just getting started, the stochastics say more to come, and that's a big candle for just a quick turn on the stochastics. Very bullish. Another thing that I kept talking about was, see this swing to that swing is a swing down. And if I match those swings, technically this is a hidden bullish divergence, which tells us we should break the high inside of this channel. Now, I've never really backtested this strange elongated divergence. A lot of people would say, no, this was the divergence or it happened in sections. But technically none of these hit and none of these hit. So in my backtesting years, just not one that looked like this, I have seen this play out as hidden bullish divergence. So I'm bullish for Bitcoin. The only way I see Bitcoin bearish is if we start closing candles below the 22,200. And I talked about this morning and last night. It was so important that we stayed above the 200 SMA on the 22-hour time frame. And lo and behold, we did. So until we close candles below this, I remain bullish for Bitcoin. It even looks like we may be making something like this. A right shoulder. This could be a head. We may dump back down, have another right shoulder, and then get a bigger break further to the upside. Maybe some type of pullback. But again, I will not be bearish unless we break this 200 SMA and I see Bitcoin below 39,000 yet again. So far, Bitcoin is strong. Bounce, 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 bounce. This is strong support and resistance here. You want to see us get back above this high volume node so we can go to the value area highs and continue up to 47,500. So the daily is bullish for Bitcoin. I called long, and we nailed that long last night in my trading group. Unbelievable move, and that's your macro analysis for Bitcoin. I see, a move up to 52,000. We're going to take it day by day, but the daily says that 52K is possible. We take a look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency, right? These are all of crypto, and it's the same scenario here. We have this beautiful falling wedge. We have the hidden bullish divergence. We did respond with a move back to the upside. Can the 4-hour get back above that 200 SMA? Can we continue to get a bigger move to the upside? That's the question. The daily here looks like it can rip. It all looks good. We did get the breakout. What would be bearish? If for whatever reason we decided to pop back inside this pattern, we lost this upward trend line, you would say, hey, we're flipping bearish now and we're likely to break to the downside. As long as we stay outside of this top trend line, we remain bullish for Bitcoin. So the total market cap does look like we're going to continue to the upside on the daily. Same thing here. Do we stop? Yeah, the 22-hour on the total was the stop. You do not want to see the total market cap close a candle below the 22-hour 200 SMA. As long as that does not happen, we will remain bullish. That measured move takes us to about $2.02 trillion in the market cap. Total 3 is the market cap of all of the altcoins, excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin. We talked about the last time them being in the symmetrical triangle, which they could have broken down. My measured move was here to 439. We did get that dump to the downside, right? That happened on basically the 21st. And we were here about on the 19th, I believe, going over this analysis. We said here, this likely to break to the downside. That's exactly what happened. But since then, we have broken back up. What happens when symmetrical triangles break to the downside? They become falling wedges. So this falling wedge looks like a nice break to the upside here for the total 3 market cap for all the altcoins. So what do we want to see? Well, that measured move that I have there drawn for you, and probably extended to that resistance at $575 trillion. Do we break back down, possibly make a right shoulder here? This is what I'm looking for. Shoulder, head, possible right shoulder for a bigger break to the upside. I look for the 4-hour to make maybe a slight pullback. The 1-hour as well, as we had a really nice pump today. But what we don't want to see is we don't want to see, again, price action close below the 22-hour 200 SMA. And this looks like it never got below the 12-hour 200 SMA too as well. Maybe even the 8. The 8, it fell below, but it got back above. So we want to see, if you want to look for strength in the altcoins, you want to watch the 8-hour time frame. Why? Because that's the one that just got above the 200 SMA so definitively. And you want to make sure that we stay above this 200 SMA. Looks like we could end up turning this into somewhat of a symmetrical triangle, getting tight. And then, Saturday night, we'll find out whether this is going to break up or down, right? So that's your altcoin long, bigger macro analysis as well. I am more bullish on the altcoins. The fact that we bounced off this area, I just want to see us stay above $467 billion. Bitcoin dominance, we've been tracking it. We're saying that it looks like it's going to get a move back up, which would be bullish for Bitcoin, and it did. This presented the idea that people are going to rush back into Bitcoin. Why would you want to rush into the dollar when the dollar is going to continue to get printed to zero? You can see what's going to happen just by what, you do have a prediction on the market because we see politicians are voting for deficit spending. They're voting to spend more. So if they're voting to spend more, we know they have to print more money. If they print more money, we know Bitcoin's going to go up in value. So they're already telling us exactly what's going to happen here, no matter what. We had this beautiful double bottom. We moved to the upside. We got above the 4-hour 200 SMA. It's a very, very good sign that more is coming for Bitcoin dominance. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dominance continued back up all the way here to the top of the channel, or at least to resistance at 54%. I would watch your altcoins and your BTC pairs. It looks like it could be Bitcoin's weekend after this beautiful bounce for Bitcoin. We look at tether dominance, and that should be dumping to the downside. And it is. Today it dumped nastily out of what is what? A symmetrical triangle. See? Boom, the boom. We talked about this kind of channeling up in this upper trend line. We just want to see that it goes further to the downside. I could even make this a smaller channel here. And you can see we have this rising wedge in play that looks like it's going to break down as well. It's a great sign. If we look at the daily is just about to dump hard. I mean, money is going to pour out of tether dominance. This is a very, very good sign. We want to see this go boom, and we want to see this go boom. Tether dominance continuing to the downside is a great sign that people are piling out of tether and into Bitcoin. So it's looking like it's going to be Bitcoin's time for the next week, and that's what tether dominance and Bitcoin dominance are telling us on the macro side of the analysis. The DXY, similar idea here. Are we making a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder to dump to the downside? We went over this morning on the live stream. We want to see this thing break down. That's what we're looking for. A little bit of a loop here. It could get tighter in the zone, but make sure the DXY never gets back above 103.66, and it'll coincide with that dump for U.S. tether dominance, and boom, a fall to the downside. On the macro scale here on that 3-day chart, we are, playing games with this 200 SMA. If I take everything out, I'd like to see us lose the 200 SMA on the 3-day chart and begin to fall further to the downside as we're overbought on the stochastics RSI. This also makes sense that Bitcoin can get a move. They can pump together. They're not 100% uncorrelated, but for the most part, you want to see Bitcoin pumping while the dollar loses most of its value. S&P futures, I've been super bullish, right? I made this flag. I talked about the pump coming up the last time we were here, 18th or 19th. I said they're going to continue to print money. Look for the S&P to continue to go to the upside. I was bullish. My target 5116. We're halfway there already to the upside. And look at the 4-hour. Ready for another big move out of a flag. This looks like it's going to continue. Looks like anything you get into today or tomorrow afternoon, or it's Friday, right? Today is likely going to continue into next week. My target for 5070 and 5116 still stays for the S&P. It's continuing to pump ever since I gave you the reversal way back here out of the cup and handle and the hidden bullish divergence on the 3-day chart. You can't beat it. That trade is still in play. Stop loss can be moved to break even now. It's a scot-free trade, and I see the S&P continuing to go to the upside. On the 3-day chart, it's got this little loop like it's going to continue up. I see more coming. This is a beautiful pennant that broke to the upside. The bigger measured move is 7422. It's going to take all year. It tells me they're going to print money all year, and we're going to have a great 2024 of just massive gains. So get ready. 2024 looks amazing. I see a lot of gains coming our way, and it looks like they're going to continue to print money for the S&P. Same thing for the NASDAQ. We talked about this breaking out, this little flag. It did that, right? We were first talking about it right here on the 18th or the 19th, 7 days ago on the 19th. We did break out. We made the move out of this little flag. We continued. We're in another little flag right here. And again, the 4-hour has reset while we've actually stayed above previous resistance on the stochastics. Very bullish sign. I see the NASDAQ continuing to 18,806 is the target. First stop is about 18,647. This thing is on the way and cooking. Again, we talked about this being in the giant cup and handle. As you can see here, I gave this reversal, same as the S&P. There was your hidden bullish divergence on the 3-day chart. I've used hidden bullish many times this year to capture the market. If you get rid of the moving averages, swing low to swing high is an uptrend. But here on the RSI, you have a downtrend. That tells you were likely going to break the high inside the divergence. We did that. We continued to the upside. So this has been an absolutely beautiful move. I love what I'm seeing here. And the 1 hour and the 4 hour suggest that we will continue to the upside here on the NASDAQ. The daily is a little high. After those initial pumps, I would expect some type of pullback from 18. But I love what I'm seeing right now for the S&P, the NASDAQ. And it's looking like it's going to be risk on, right? We're going to have a Fed meeting this Wednesday where they're going to discuss what goes on. They're going to not raise the rates. The CME watch tool says no, they will not raise the rates. So, we're going to stay flat. We're going to see what happens from there. But that is your top-down, macro analysis for Bitcoin. Watch this every single week to stay level-headed, to not get caught up in the smaller time frames, and to get a good picture of where we're headed each and every week. Thank you so much for watching this. I greatly appreciate it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life. God bless and have a great day, night, afternoon, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you for watching.